Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Uh, it's a pleasure that we are having Sir Rahim Shah Akhunkhail. I would like to briefly introduce you, sir. Sir Rahim Shah Akhunkhail, a philanthropist, activist, entrepreneur, and overseas Pakistani. He is founder of Sir Foundation, Muslims of USA, Mausa, and Deer Overseas Pakistani Association, Doha. Founded consulting practices for two companies, 20 plus years of management consulting experience to Fortune 100 companies in North America, Europe, and Asia. Currently, he is in the hospitality business in United States. His most recent focus is tourism in Pakistan, specifically in remote parts of Pakistan, Deer, Chitral, Bajaur, residing in USA with frequent visits to Pakistan. Thank you very much, sir, for sparing your precious time.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome.
What's all about? You are having a very luxurious life in the United States and a well-established business. This Sir Foundation, the Overseas Pakistani Association, and the rest of the things, your philanthropic activities.
So that's a very common question I've been asked by many people, right? So there are three things that I look at. Number one, I went to school here. I was born here, basically, right? So I did my pre-K, kindergarten, first grade from Hal school, and then second and third grade from Rabat. And then we moved to Karachi. I did my FSC from there, and then went to USA and did all my education there. So the fundamental philosophy that I have is, if I had not done third grade from there, maybe I would not have been here at this stage, right? So plus, my family is here. My Khanadan, my Qawm, my Pakhtuns are here. So I feel very much kind of obligations toward this part of the world, right? And I'm doing nothing more than just basically clearing my conscience that Allah, you have given me certain things, and I'm basically giving back to the people that where I grew up. I did my basic education, and of course, wherever we are, doesn't matter. We're still Pakistani. We're still Pakhtuns, right? So that's the desire, the burning desire that brings me back to Pakistan, especially to Deer, to basically offer whatever services we can offer to the people.
That's really wonderful. Sir, today is focus of our discussion will be public sector universities, their governance issues. As you have got some degrees of qualification from the United States, would you tell something about that, your education in the United States, so that I may connect things later on?
So I did my FSC from Assam Science College in Karachi. And then after FSC, I went to USA. I did my bachelor in engineering. Didn't care much about it. And then I did my MBA, and I loved it. So after
MBA from where?
From US. Southern Illinois University. It's a small school, but very, very, very excellent school, I believe. So I did my MBA from there, and I'm the alumni. I have two scholarships that I give to the university. One is for Sir Foundation, and one is for my family, Akhunkhail family. So there are two scholarships every year that we offer to any needy students, because I feel like that university has rights over me too. So my philosophy is basically to give back to whether it's entity or people who have given me to be where I am right now.
I would come towards the current situation of the public sector universities in Pakistan, especially in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. There is a visible crisis, financial crisis, and administrative issues. I would like to ask this question that is there any political interference in the universities of the United States? We haven't heard this, but unfortunately in this part of the world, the political representatives, they have a bigger say in the affairs of the universities. How do you look at this?
So that's, to be very honest, it's a news to me that there is political interference in higher education. No, I did not know that. But as far as Europe is concerned, North America is concerned, even Asia, I think, Political interference is unheard of. I mean, I have not experienced any such thing. I have not heard of any such thing. So if it's happening in Pakistan, it's pretty unique phenomena, I would say.
Let me elaborate it further. Like to become a vice chancellor in any public sector university without political patronage, that is almost impossible. That is a perception over here. So there might be terrible consequences when a political figure, he or she supports a person and getting that top position in academia, and then they have those kind of influences within academia and in the form of employment or employment, and they consider the universities to be employment factories, and this is very unfortunate, and that has ruined our universities.
So, like I said again, look. I really don't care whether it's university or any institution. If there is a political interference, if someone becoming a head of an organization and it is done through influence of individual or organization, then that head of the organization is bound to basically do what the influencer says so, right?
Exactly.
And again, I'm not quite sure, what the process is, how it works, but it's not really limited to one individual person. I mean, if you have an MPA, MNA, for example, or a senator who influences that decision, then of course, then the person who gets to that position is bound to go along with the wishes of the person who has recommended him or lobbied for him or whatever help he or she has provided. So in our part of the world, this just doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. Everything is based on merit. We have independent boards of each institution, and those boards make the decision who becomes the chancellor or vice chancellors or president, whatever that may be. So the board is basically an independent entity, which is not answerable to anyone. Right? And by the way, individual people like me could be on the board. And the board
From corporate sector,
corporate social activists, local people, academia, for example. So it's a combination of many sectors who make the decision.
As you have obtained your MBA from a university in the United States, you might have observed academic leaders who were there, the rectors or presidents, academic leaders. My question is that what it takes to be an effective academic leader, as you might have observed things who were there. So,
what I see, which I have noticed by the way, that even in hospitals, right, all majority of your DHO or MS are doctors. Okay.
Yeah.
Same thing with your universities. Majority of them comes from academics, right? Okay, managing a university is really a big, huge administrative task,
Exactly.
right? Same thing with the hospital. So if you go to US or Europe, and by the way, I have been to Europe when I was doing consulting. So Europe, Asia, North America, I have been to some part of Africa too. So in those countries, administration is totally different than academia, right? Finding qualified people, hiring people, training people, developing people. Most of those things are really not a strength of an academician, for example, or a doctor. You need a different breed of people to manage such a huge organization. And if you go to our part of the world, most of those leaders come from business. Because regardless of what we say, running a university, or running a hospital, running an institution, it's part of the business. They have to manage to a budget, right? Profit and loss. I mean, in university, what are your source of income, right? It's tuition, right? Maybe you have some grants from the government. Maybe you have some things from the alumni.
Research commercialization.
Exactly, research. So you have the revenue part, and you have the expense part, right? So you go back to the P&L and say, who is in the best position to manage a P&L? And P&L includes many things, right? Your human resources, your financials, your marketing, your advertising, your sales. I mean, bunch of things goes into that, right? So I'm not saying that a professor could not be a good administrator. Okay, he or she could be, but typically in our part of the world, it's more someone from a master of public administration or master of business administration with higher education.
Now, as far as the existing criteria is concerned, that is fundamentally flawed. What you mentioned, that is that they have a criteria like this much budget should be given to the impact factor or research and things like that. But actually, that is a sort of performance appraisal. That is not a potential assessment. They don't look into the things that what it takes to be an effective vice chancellor or an academic leader. That's actually the problem what you mentioned.
So again, the difference that I see in Pakistan and the developed nations, right? And again, I'm not an expert, but just through my observation, right? In all universities, what lack is research and development, right? Because research and development is a huge source of income. Example. Let's say my university, okay, Southern Illinois University, we have a campus, a research triangle campus, and we do research for who? We do research for IBM, for Cisco, for all the Fortune 100 companies. We do research for them in product development and service development. Guess what? Then they donate money to the university, right? So R&D is very critical to, and by the way, who brings R&D? Who brings all these companies? The leader of the university. He or she is connected to the business sector, to the social sector, to the political sectors. So it's his or her responsibility to make sure that the university has enough funds to flourish. Plus, I mean, the ranking system. I mean, in the U.S., I think we have a very robust ranking system where we rank universities, companies strives to get attention. The other source of income, by the way, which is lacking here, just like I'm the alumni of my university, right?
Exactly, yes.
Okay, so they call me, they talk to me, and that's why I have scholarships there, right? Whatever I have, okay, just like me, there are other people who are executives, they are business owners, and we then support our institutions where we got education from, right? So I think in Pakistan, like I said, I don't know all the details, but some of these fundamental things are changing. I'm disturbed, to be honest with you, to know that there is political interference. It's disturbing news. I have heard of that in the police and some other sectors, but I was not aware of that it's happened in the universities too, which is quite sad to hear that.
Thank you very much, Sir Rahim Shah Akhunkhail. Thank you very much for sparing your precious time. Thank you.